I did not read the novel, nor did I see any of the previous adaptations that have been done for this novel, which, of course, there is a lot of. This story, it seems, is just as timeless, if not more timeless, than Little Women, which is another novel that has had many different film adaptations over the years, but this novel's had even more adaptations than that one. As a matter of fact, when I asked ChatGPT just how many times this novel has been turned into a movie or TV show, it said over 35 times. So like I said, I went into this movie blind. I didn't know shit about this movie, didn't know what to expect. All I knew is that I was going to be seeing Jacob Elordi take his shirt off. Was this movie worth the 2 hour and 16 minute runtime? Let's discuss. I wouldn't call myself a lover of romance movies, but I have seen a few throughout my lifetime. I occasionally enjoy them, but I just don't flock to them, especially when I see a trailer for one of them that looks like it's going to be emotionally manipulative and it's got a lot of sappy music going on. If I see any of that shit going on in a trailer for a romance movie, I am not watching it. But somehow, despite having a trailer that was pretty sappy and did fall prey to everything I just said, I was intrigued to see this movie. Maybe it's because of this cast, because Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie have proven over and over again that they are excellent actors and masters of their craft. This movie takes place over many years and shows us a budding romance between a lowborn boy and a woman born into wealth. During the course of this film, we see them going from basically being siblings to eventually having a deep connection with each other that is exciting, erotic, and at times damaging to everybody around them. Jumping into these performances, Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie both shine brightly. Heathcliff is a man who has lived a life of low means, and any good tidings that he's had throughout his life has come from his foster father, who is a raging drunk that both loves being a father and hates it at the same time. But despite all the low moments that he's experienced throughout his life, there is one thing that gives him that urge to push forward, and that is Kathy. Jacob Elordi did a great job bringing Heathcliff to life and showing all the complex parts of this guy, because he's got this extremely dreamy thing going on, but then he also has this darkness, which is no doubt coming from that harsh upbringing that he had. Margot Robbie does an excellent job in this film. This film really does push her into some truly dark and uncomfortable places. This is no ordinary proper lady. Like Heathcliff, she too has grown up in a harmful environment that has distorted her views of life, love, and everything in between. And I think that's where this movie truly shines. Not in those romance scenes between Margot and Jacob Elordi, but more in showing us what it was like to live life back then. It was not easy. It was absolutely brutal, in fact. For women back then, you were expected to marry, expected to have kids, expected to raise those kids by yourself, basically, expected to satisfy a man's sexual desires regardless of if you're in a mood or not, because he is providing a roof over your head and clothes on your back. And that's just absolutely bullshit. And I think a lot of women, even back then, were not down with that lifestyle. It's really quite a sad time period that we had back then, and yet it seems like in a lot of ways we are still living in that time period. We still tend to expect women to stay home and raise the kids. I mean, I don't think that. I think that women should go do whatever the hell they want. But it does seem like there is still cultures out there that prefer women to be living in this kind of mindset. And even though men certainly had it easier back then, it was similarly antiquated for them. You had certain expectations to uphold, and those expectations sometimes changed who you were because you had to try to fit into this society bubble, this rule of society. This is not The Notebook. This is not one of those happy-go-lucky romances. Although I wouldn't say that The Notebook was necessarily happy-go-lucky, but I think you know what I mean. This doesn't feel like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or any of those campy love stories. This is a movie that is featuring a lot of dark, heavy themes that will really at times challenge your entire mindset. The third act of this movie kind of threw me for a loop. I don't know what I was expecting from this movie, but it was not what I got from this third act, and I can't help but wonder if the reason the third act felt a little bit out of place and just out of character for the earlier parts of this film is because maybe perhaps some parts of the novel didn't make it into this movie, and that could explain the weird shift that I was feeling between these characters, because all of a sudden I'm getting different vibes from people that I was not expecting. I'm seeing different sides to characters that I was not expecting to see, and it was really making me feel like, what the hell's going on here? What the hell happened to everything that we had going on? It was just a little bit jarring. This film is beautifully shot. The cinematography is just remarkable. The directing is excellent. The supporting cast is phenomenal. And yet, for some reason, when this film ended, I really found myself unsure how to feel. I was engaged. I was really pulled into this film. For sure, a lot of this movie was very much entertaining me. But then there were parts of this movie where I was starting to feel that runtime a little bit, and I was starting to feel like it could be moving along at at a slightly brisker pace, or at least make the story feel a bit more seamless if it is going to be a longer film. Like I said, this is not a typical love story. If you're one of those people that's looking for one of those, 90s nostalgia rom-com style things, then this is pretty far from that. What you're gonna get with this movie is a really heavy story, some amazing performances. The supporting cast too, I do want to shout out the supporting cast. Owen Cooper did an excellent job as a young Heathcliff, and I also thought Alison Oliver delivered an exceptional performance as Isabella, and Chau as Nellie was another excellent, solid performance. So all around, there's just a really good cast. This movie, the way it's filmed, everything about it is really, really solid. But at the end of the day, there's just a little something holding this movie back from being totally great, from being totally must watch over and over again kind of thing. From being a movie that I would likely repeat watching, I don't think I would watch this one again, even though I did enjoy what I saw for the most part. For me, this movie is an 8 out of 10. That's my thoughts on it. If you guys saw this movie, please put your thoughts on it in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.